So I did have one last thing that I did with my week.
I'm gonna send a quick.
Yeah, you can send a quick little email. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna. I had one last thing that I did my week, and it's a bizarre form of enjoyment because it is becoming more common lately, and that is video game Schadenfreude, I think is how you pronounce it. So, I have yet to play Anthem. I have no interest in Anthem. Anthem seems bad. However, Anthem's release has given me much joy. I have been having a fucking great time over the weekend talking to people about Anthem. Because would you believe that parts of that game are so fucked up as to be actually hilarious? To be very funny to hear about and see.
I have seen all kinds of bugs in terms of weird shit happening and popping into the world, and we talked briefly about the way it handles loading assets.
Yep.
In last time, and the fact that you could come in as a level 2 or 3 quick player and just join the final battle.
So it's one of those things. Now let's be really clear. This is not Fallout 76. I don't think anything's going to be Fallout 76 for a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's going to take a minute.
But this is definitely a larger shit show than, say, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
Which was its own bag of hilariousness. So I've seen every bug under the sun coming out. I've seen people psycho-crushing into space by breaking loading screens and cutscenes. I'm seeing people fall through the world and get permanently stuck. I'm seeing people having every kind of enemies with no guns, enemies shooting the floor, enemies with their AI turned off, enemies that are invincible, etc. But my favorite out of all, somebody pointed me towards a tweet that apparently this person follows me, a person named Aaron Chine. So, in Anthem, your masterwork weapons, which are the super weapons, your exotics, what have you, your uniques.
The farmables.
Yes. The one that you have to grind in-game currency for dozens of hours in order to roll on one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the endgame weapons have randomly rolled stats. Now, Wolves, you don't play a lot of loot games.
But I understand what that means.
Destiny had this.
Yeah.
It's like you can get a really...
You can pick up multiple guns, and some will be better than others, even though they're almost identical.
Yeah, this one has extra damage, or this one has extra accuracy.
For sure.
So in Anthem, they're randomly rolled with no top or bottom to their stat limit, apparently. So they can randomly roll zeros.
So a legendary.
So a masterwork. This is the Fist of the Crucible. Masterwork Heavy Assault Launcher. I'm going to point this to Wolves so he can see that big fucking red bar, which shows that the attack is garbage. But more fun than that is its special ability. It has a combo effect, explosive. Victor's Advantage. Defeating an enemy will increase flamethrower damage by 0 for 0 seconds. Stacks to 0.
Okay. You have to... That had to be the result of, like, hitting that system up until you saw some nonsense.
Can't be, because you can't just get all those weapons.
Now,
These are rare.
But I heard there was a level you could walk to that you could load in and load out of and basically keep farming the same thing on hardest
I don't know about
difficulty.
that. This person seems to have just gotten a drop, and the drop is literally 0.
There was a tweet that said, put it on hardest difficulty, go to this area, kill this one thing, it's not that hard, and then you will always get a 20% or something shot at it. That's wacky.
So, in addition, so Anthem has a lot of problems, but... so there's an entire like
so you got a legendary nothing.
Yeah, there's an entire like little cabal of what I would call Warframe content people. They've all hit Anthem. because it's a loot shooter. So that's that gang's.
Oh, I hate that word.
It's what it is.
Oh man, that rubs me the wrong way.
It's what that is, Wooly.
Oh boy.
Warframe, Division,
Ooh.
Destiny, Anthem, etc.
Ooh.
Right?
Ugh.
But that whole cabal has hit Anthem, right? Because it's there's comparisons to Warframe. In a loot shooter, the most important thing ever is that, oh, I found a gun. Oh, I found a sword. Oh, cool. This thing kicks ass. I can use that to beat up that harder thing, whatever. Or it's cool looking, at least. Or it has a weird effect. Whatever, right? Warframe has a bajillion guns. Some of them are really normal. A bunch of them are weird, right? Destiny has its exotics. They all have some goofy gimmick to them. Stuff like that, right? One of these Warframe content people, someone who I'm a big fan of, Quiet Shy. I was actually just talking to her earlier. She's very kind. But she put up a video. Look, this is my masterwork minigun. Highest damaging weapon type in the game. Just spits out a bajillion ammo, right? On your harder difficulties in Anthem, your guns can't kill enemies. She expends about 80% of this thing's total magazine to kill one enemy because your abilities, your cooldowns,
Yes.
those are exponentially more powerful.
Yes.
And the combo system where you freeze them and whatnot.
And on the hardest difficulty, enemies get 8,000% stronger.
Right? So you use your weapon combos, right? But that means that in a loot shooter, the weakest part of your kit is the one that you're grinding for.
Okay.
That's stupid as fuck. That is stupid as fuck.
So your incentive loop is essentially something you're not going to be using.
Exactly. So why are you bothering? Well, to get the cool weird ones. Problem is, weapon types in Anthem are all the same. All the assault rifles work the same. They don't even fire differently. You get the legendary one, it might have a crazy effect, but that effect might be set to fucking 0. This game sucks, and it is fun to watch it suck. Just like how Fallout 76 was hilarious to watch it suck. Anthem is fun to watch it suck. And not only that, look at what it's in
Fallout
between.
76 doesn't have cool flying.
It doesn't. Well, sometimes it does. but not on purpose.
Right.
But look what it's in between. It's in between Resident Evil. A+, great game, right? It's in between, on the other end, Apex by the same company. And Division, which the fucking private test for Division felt a million times better than anything, than the full release of Anthem. And on the other end is fucking Devil May Cry. What is this game supposed to do and appeal to whom?
Loot shoot fans. Schluter fans.
But there's a better one coming in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Sounds easily patchable.
It does not.
Number changing?
This seemed...
Okay. Numbers going up and numbers going down? It's you literally enter the key numpad into the
Okay, I was getting pissy for a second, and then you kept going. I'm like, okay, you're doing that thing. Okay. As somebody who has played a bunch of these types of games...
Schluters.
Fuck. All right, you've ruined it for me too now. So good job. So as somebody who's played a bunch of Schluters, and somebody who's played a bunch of games upon release that were fucked up, right? Warframe was fucked up when it came out. Destiny was fucked up when it came out. Mass Effect Andromeda was fucked up when it came out. It takes a long time to fix these things in a live game. It takes a long goddamn time.
So simply removing the threshold so that it can't hit 0 on your legendaries.
I saw people talking that the reason why that's possible is that the stacks accidentally went too high sometimes. So
And
they
then
might have
went back
nerfed
around.
all of those types to 0 until they fix it later.
Okay.
Which is an even stupider solution.
Because if it's RNG, it's RNG, right? So the idea that you could just like, squeeze that variable down and then make the guns do damage again sounds like numbers.
So in a loot shooter, the one thing that you look at, I think Warframe's probably the best example. Nobody gets mad when you buff the game. Nobody gets mad when you buff the player character.
Okay.
Hey, people find out that this thing is like super fucked up and broken and super good. Nobody gets mad if you leave it in.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, that's same for fighting.
Not unless it's PvP. If there's PvP, that's different.
Oh, I'd say that applies to any genre, honestly. Like,
right?
Fun bugs, people want to keep those.
Like, you look at your Warframe, the movement thing, that was a bug, and they were like, oh, that's cool, let's integrate. But like, hey, this gun does too much damage. Yeah, okay, you got lucky, good for you. Right? But it's this thing of like, nerf the powerful stuff, but don't buff the shitty stuff. Like, Destiny's a pretty good example. It took a long time. It took a year plus for Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 to work themselves up into a better state, right? I'm not a developer and I don't know anything about development other than what people tell me, right? But it seems fairly clear that working on a game when it's not live is a lot more efficient than working on a game when it is live.
Of course. Of course.
And it takes a long fucking time to fix stuff like this. It will take over a year at least just to fix the stuff we're talking about right now, let alone anything new that happens in the future. And that doesn't change all sorts of problems with that game. Have you you played it?
Look, I can't speak for the genre, but I can speak for rolling balance changes on live multiplayer
live services.
live suites. Yes,
on live services.
Live services.
That's right.
And you can make drastic reworks.
You can.
You just have to be committed to, like, you have to be committed to, like, extending the project longer than you thought you would in the tail end of it.
Yeah.
In case and there surely will be, the new issues arise from the hotfix. And then you have to have the QA team ready on that, and then ready on that, and then ready on that, and then eventually you slowly tail end it.
Well, here's the
but
issue
I've seen it done.
that I see with that, right? When Warframe came out fucked up, it kind of got a pass from a lot of people because Digital Extremes is an indie company. And when Warframe came out, they were on the verge of bankruptcy.
I believe it was also free.
It is also free, which helps. When Destiny came out, it came out from a AAA developer, Bungie, from a AAA publisher, and thus got a lot of fucking heavy fire for why does the story make no fucking sense? Why is grinding for materials in this game the worst thing ever, etc., right?
Yeah.
And then that happened again with Destiny 2 of like, why are we doing the same fucking thing we did with Destiny 1, right? EA put out Anthem, which is apparently has been worked on and off to some degree for 6 years. And it feels like it kicked out the door a year early. That does not inspire confidence in terms of the long tail and support and what have you. However, and this is now my favorite awful lie in this business, there's a 10-year plan for Anthem. Did you know that?
I've heard that before.
I heard that with Destiny from Activision.
Yeah.
By the way, Activision and Bungie not even working together anymore. For the record. Hasn't been 10 years since Destiny 1.
True, they separated.
Hell yeah, they did. But there's a 10-year plan for Anthem. You know what game had a 10-year fucking plan? World of Warcraft. We're on year fucking 15 now.
Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue. Yeah.
I sitting over here, hope that the shortcomings don't spell an aversion to anyone else that's willing to pick up the mantle of letting me Iron Man and customize my Iron Man.
I don't think that is a worry. What I do worry is that...
Because there's been nothing really doing that for some time now.
Yeah.
So this came along and does it.
Okay. I feel like every 2 or 3 years, me and you have the exact same conversation, and we've had multiple of them on this podcast, right? Man, Street Fighter 2 is really hot. We should make a Street Fighter 2 clone. Yeah, it's garbage, but maybe it'll do well. Man, modern military shooters are really hot. We should make a Call of Duty clone. Yeah, it's garbage, but maybe it'll do well. Man, MMOs are really hot. Maybe we should make an MMO. Maybe, okay, yeah, but it's garbage. Yeah, but maybe this one will do really well. Man, MOBAs are really hot. Maybe we should make one. Yeah, but it's garbage. Man, Battle Royale's really hot. And in between those last two was, wow, these games as a service shooters are really hot. And that's the weirdest one because no, they aren't, and they never were. This, Anthem, and Division feel like responses to how successful everyone thought Destiny was going to be.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to be late to the party like they always are. But then Destiny was not as successful as anyone thought it was going to be, and hell no, Destiny 2 wasn't.
Okay, but before Destiny, what was your Schluter?
Borderlands.
That was it.
It was it.
That was it.
And Borderlands was a weird offshoot of Diablo. And there are Diablo clones. And guess what? A bunch of Diablo clones are really, really fantastic. Torchlight is great. Path of Exile is great. Grim Dawn is apparently pretty good.
Baldur's?
No, totally different series.
Okay.
Totally different kind of game.
Okay.
Think of KOTOR,
Okay.
Diablo.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay. Got it. Huge. Got
The
it.
only thing that's the same is the perspective,
Okay.
right? But Borderlands is just Diablo with guns, right? And the Destiny was supposed to be Borderland but Halo. It's like it's a bandwagon that wasn't actually all that popular, and everyone fucked it up.
They bought in, and then this is where we're at. Yeah.
Division seems fine. There are parts of that game that are fucked up.
But it's like the continued existence and success of Warframe will always provide a frame of reference for what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, but Warframe's only been really successful for like 2 years, 3 years.
But it's been around for so long.
Yeah, because it's fucking free, and that's the trick. Like, if Anthem was fucking free right now, this shit would be lighthearted. It would not be vindictive. Like, I'm laughing out of spite. I'm laughing in a mean way. If this game was free, I'd be playing it right now for shits and giggles. And I'd be like, wow, this is really fucked up. Hope they patch it. Maybe I'll come back in a couple months after they put it back.
Yeah.
Because it's free. Not having to put your 60... Because you put your $60 or your fucking 89, whatever the fuck it is out here now, and it's fucked up like a free-to-play game, that sucks.
The weird thing is sitting in a place where, like, the perspective now feels just based on the genre and its direct competitors that it's like this product is now gated behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, no, you're selling a video game. I would never be the one to be on the side of like, why isn't this game free?
Why is this game buy to play?
Why is this game B2P?
Why is
That's a horrible place to sit. I hate it. It's uncomfortable.
So let me
but fine.
Let me try and dive even deeper to that, because there's this weird thing that nobody really notices, right? So and it applies to all the examples that I've talked about, right? Street Fighter, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Dota and League, etc., right? Okay. It doesn't apply to PUBG because PUBG fucked up. But let's take Street Fighter as an example. That shit is, what, fucking 92?
Yeah,
Ancient.
90, I mean, fucking 91, whatever.
All right. We're going to make a fucking Street Fighter clone. All right. How many characters we got? 8. Great. We can beat Street Fighter. They got Championship Edition just came out. They have 12 now, actually.
Yes.
All right. We can beat Street Fighter. We have extra good sprites, and our game moves a little faster. It's going to come out, and it's going to beat... Hyper Fighting came out. It's actually way faster than everything on the market. Our game looks super fucking slow now. Well, that's okay. We're going to make a Fatal Fury whatever, and it's going to come out, and it's going to make Street Fighter look... We're going to have more characters be just... Okay, well, the new Super Turbo came out, and it has supers... And there's even more characters now, and there's an unlockable character, and he's the fucking shit. He's crazy.
And it still costs 50 cents per game, and the crowd is still around this machine.
So
because they've been around this machine for the last
when
10
you're
years.
chasing the trend, you end up in this thing where the situation is inherently unfair. Every MMO that came out after World of Warcraft, specifically ones that came out after 2006, when Burning Crusade came out, had to deal with the fact that they didn't have as much shit in their game that WoW did.
But then you say...
Because WoW had an expansion, right? And you go, well, is it better than WoW? Not right now. Does it have as much stuff as WoW? Not right now. Why the fuck would I play that instead of WoW? You always have to... Because you can only make so much game.
Because it's got a booming speaker and fatalities and digitized actors and blood.
Because it's different. Right?
Yep.
You can only compete with something directly so fairly. You can only make so much shit, right? And I can immediately see it. It's like when fucking Anthem started its pre-production, Destiny probably wasn't even out yet, let alone Warframe rising from its fucking ashes, right? So like, okay, well, Destiny's gonna have this will compete with that, right? But that's not what you're competing with. You're competing with the Destiny 2 and its expansions that exist now. You're competing with Warframe that has been built up over fucking 6 years. You're competing with whatever, right? Is that fair? No. Too bad. That's the price you pay for getting in later. You have to look at the leader. You look at League of Legends, right? Most played game ever. Okay, we're gonna start a new MOBA. New MOBA's gonna have 20 characters. That's pretty good. How many fucking characters does League have right now? A billion?
Is it over 100?
It's a billion. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit. This game doesn't have as many characters as League. Is that fair? Of fucking course, it's not fucking fair. Does anyone give a shit? No. Who gives a shit? That game has more.
Apex manages to be different enough because you're using teams.
And also, it's just a lot better than some of its direct competitors.
Even if it was one versus 100, it would be.
It feels better.
It would be a huge difference, yeah. But the shakeup involving teams and bringing back some of that Overwatch,
it's better and it's different,
and whatnot. Yeah, yep.
Anthem wants to, because Anthem probably looked at Destiny as its core inspiration, and then said, "You can't fucking fly in Destiny."
But yes. But you also have to look at the individual Bioware timeline of we need to swerve off of what the fuck we were just making, into something completely new. And what do we got? What can we do? What's hot? And what can we do within what's hot?
Slooters are going to be the next big hot.
Because, as we talked about Radical Heights before, I mean, and other examples of this where you're like, the studio needs to swerve into a completely different direction in the hopes that it'll catch on in this way, to some degree, Apex, man,
Yeah.
So
and that was I wouldn't call that a swerve. For Respawn, I'd call that a pivot. Because it still feels like a fucking Respawn
It
game.
is, yeah. All right, yeah. Enough of the bones is there.
It feels like they took a shot of Halo and then they fucking battle royaled it.
The most Mass Effect bones you'll see in Anthem is dialogue trees.
You mean the one or the other dialogue trees that mean absolutely fuck all?
Yeah.
Those ones?
Yes, those ones.
So Bioware is fascinating because it's like, oh, we got to swerve to something. I don't know. How about swerving towards RPGs?
They tried and they weren't allowed to.
Well, that's a whole different problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And also, even if they did swerve back towards RPGs, the people who made those, there is more what people, you know what Plague's post about having to put air quotes around developers when people leave?
Yes.
Modern day Obsidian is more closely related to the Bioware you probably have in your head than Bioware is. There are more people at Obsidian that worked on Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and shit like that than there are at Bioware. Mass Effect? No. There's still a ton of Mass Effect people there, I'm sure. But, like, those people aren't there. Fuck. The lead developer, the fucking director of Dragon Age 1 quit the company when he saw what Dragon Age 2 was going to be. And he was right.
So your new activity consists of jumping on board the train and seeing where it's going.
Yeah, I love it.
But more like...
I give somebody a video camera to go on the train for me.
Yeah, or I was gonna say like you get in the back with the hobos doing the fucking train hopping.
Yeah.
Like you're not actually buying a ticket.
No. Anthem bums me out. So I've been saying, yeah, BioWare's probably gonna cease to exist when the Anthem development. Yeah, what do you even call it? Like the fucking
Development cycle.
The cycle and the roadmap. And
yeah.
and people are like, yeah, but Dragon Age 4, like Dragon Age 4 isn't gonna come out, guys. that game is no, that's not gonna happen. At this point, I don't for a second believe that Dragon Age 4 will come out. And this is kind of a weird catch-22 because I'm wrong a lot, but on the ones that are more likely to depress you, I end up being right more often than not. And this is pretty depressing. How'd you fuck up a Mass Effect game, man? Those games are awesome.
I think it's as simple as more time in the oven was needed, but there was not allowed.
That seems to be... Every interview...
But that's how you fuck it up, though.
Every interview that comes out about Apex Legends is like, yeah, EA didn't even look at us when we were developing Apex. They didn't give a shit. And I assume it's because they thought that whatever the fuck Respawn put out would fail and they would just absorb Respawn employees into the Battlefield monster or whatever.
6 years. 6 years. That's a very long time. That's a very long time.
So, you know, ever since the 360 era, HD era, blah, 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 game development time...
That number is not real.
It's real.
No, it's real, but it's not real in the sense that I promise you that... I've seen this way too many times. That number has a restart point in it.
Yes, it does. It might have two.
And I want to say possibly two, because
I suspect there are 2 dead anthems that we don't see.
Even if a game has a 6-year development and comes out being shit, there's a level of 6 years of polish still shows in places.
You can't avoid it.
You will see it.
So, yeah,
this type of thing absolutely looks like you're looking at a staggered and chopped 6-year timeline.
I would like to...
And this was rebooted at some point.
Actually go into this a little more in detail. So this has been happening more and more and more and more, which is games that come out and they're like, this game's been under development for 5 to 10 years. Let's use Anthem and Final Fantasy 15 as examples, right? You play them, and the first word in your mouth is bullshit.
Yeah.
You worked on this for 10 years. Bullshit. You worked on this for 5.
Too human.
Yeah. Right? No. Pre-production and art assets and concept art, yeah, they totally got worked on 9 years ago, 6 years, whatever. Every single one of those got fucking thrown out.
We had a vertical slice. It got shared, which got sent around. Everyone saw it.
We blew a year on a vertical slice that management said was garbage. So complete restart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when a game comes out and it looks like Anthem, it can't have been under development for 6 years.
No.
That's impossible.
24 months ago, something happened and was like, hey, maybe we got to take. You know what I mean? Like
it should be pointed out that
that's the type of thing that happens.
Both Destiny games were essentially made in 1 year.
Right.
Despite coming out 3 years apart, they've been very clear in interviews that like shit got broken and had to be totally rebooted for Destiny 1. So the game got rushed. And then they did the exact same fucking thing again for Destiny 2.
And I promise you, as well, there's always a third conversation. And that third conversation is, fuck, I think we got to do it again. And then they look, and then they make sense of emails, and people, and some calls are made.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and they go, not this time. It's got to ship. Absolutely not.
No, you don't understand. This is fucked up.
No. We just,
you're not going to get another 2 years on this.
Can't do it. Nope. Then it comes and it is what it is.
Yep.
There's always a third call.
That guaranteed happened to Destiny 2. And that is me saying that on my own like faith.
Yeah.
Because the original planets in Destiny 1 were supposed to be in Destiny 2. It was supposed to be that thing where new game, okay, here's all the old areas too.
And then
but because they had to fucking kneecap the dev team halfway through, kneecap development halfway through, gotta cut all that. Well, fuck, that's a pretty big fucking deal, isn't it?
And then the guy on the phone goes, absolutely not. It ships, it's gotta ship. Fucking ship it. That's it. And hangs that phone up and picks this one up and goes, yo, Respawn, what's up? What you got? What you looking at? And then
can you ship? And they're like, yeah, totally. and we can totally ship.
You know, and then we create our fictional fucking timeline.
I don't think that's fictional at all. I've been saying that since the beginning.
Hypothetical.
Everything about the fucking Apex feels like it got kicked out. Apex feels like a game that never got restarted, and they knew exactly what the fuck they were doing from day one, and it got kicked out a month early.
But we know for a fact that like that they said there was a pivot. You know, we know for a fact there was, but.
And then you look at shit like Wraith's fucking face, and you're like, there's no way that was fucking final. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I think the Wraith costume is the single most common costume I've seen because it covers her fucking face. The fucking medic one.
Okay.
Covers her face from the nose down, fixes that character right up.
I thought I was looking at a bug when her hair didn't load in because it looked like it, and it was like no, that's actually an outfit.
She's
it's
just
like,
hideous.
But why does it look like it's like the asset's missing?
She looks unfinished.
Like when you have a shaved head, it looks different. But anyway,